You must assume the sale. I'm going to say that one more time. Make sure this thing is on. Hello? Mic check. You must assume the sale. Your body language, your word choice, how you present to your guests, everything must make the assumption that whatever you're asking them to buy that day, y'all are on the same page, y'all are on board, and it's going to happen. Assume the sale. I'm going to share with you a very troubling experience that happened to me recently in trying to plan a small gathering for some coworkers' birthdays. I'm it troubled me. It troubled me greatly because as a hospitality professional, I didn't understand exactly what was going on. Like, do y'all show up every day to make money or nah? Like, what's happening here? All right, welcome back to the Hospitality Hacks Pro Show, where we talk about interesting topics in and around culinary arts and hospitality. I am your host, Tasha Jackson, restaurant consultant, teacher, amongst other things. Okay, let me tell y'all what happened. There is a place. I know a place. I'll take you there. There is a place that my coworkers and I, small group of us, frequent here and there, maybe a couple times a month, enough for them to know our faces when we arrive. I would dare say we're regulars. A local watering hole, if you will, right? We go there fairly often. We have our favorite server, bartender that takes care of us. And we're always happy when we see her. When we don't see her, it's like side eye. I don't know what kind of service we're gonna get today. And it's always pretty good. It's just not our person. We have our person that we like. So my department, we are a good sized department. I would dare say probably the biggest department at our high school. And so we try to always celebrate each other for birthdays, even if it's just a card, a group text, something of that nature. Now, in the month of May, there are 3 birthdays in the month of May. So I somehow talked my way into like becoming the official like birthday spirit person for for our group, right? So I must say I'm really not that good at it. But I'm doing my best. So in my mind, I said, you know what? We've had some new people come onto our team, and this school year is about to end, and we haven't really had an opportunity to all get together and just hang out outside of a staff meeting or PLCs, a professional learning community, or something of that nature, where small pockets of us gather, maybe 4 or 5 at a time. So I said, the month of May will be a perfect opportunity for us to have a kickback session slash birthday gathering for these 3 birthdays, right? So I reach out, and I feel like I'm doing good because I told you I'm not that good at it, being the spirit person, right? And mostly because of time management. Things slip my mind, and I'm like, oh man, it is so and so's birthday. Like I have a lot of things floating around in my brain, and if it's not top of mind, it can slip through the cracks, right? So um so I call myself doing a good job because I inquired with this local establishment, which I will not name, but this local establishment that we frequent, and said, hey, you know, we have some birthdays coming up. We would love to be able to celebrate here. I was just at the place for us to get together, grab a bite to eat, something to drink, chill out, hang out, right? This is like a month and a half prior to the date, right? So our favorite bartender server person's like, oh yeah, just email such and such, writes down the email address. They'll take care of you. Da, 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 da. I'm like, cool. I'm like, we would love for you to be able to take care of us. What do we need to do? Oh yeah, that's no problem. As long as I'm here, not out of town or something, I would love to take care of y'all, blah, 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 blah. Right. So I send the email. Hey, have a party, probably 10 to 12 people, nothing too crazy. But big enough to where, you want to kind of plan ahead. So we'll probably have a party of 10 to 12, multiple birthdays. We would love to celebrate at your establishment. Let me know, what the parameters are. I noticed you have, so this particular place has a upstairs kind of patio open situation, which is cute. And then they have a side private party room. which I just discovered recently after going to this place for I don't know what, year and a half. I just discovered this side room. I'm like, oh, that would be perfect. It has its own bar set up. It's set to the side. It's off right. So sent an email. Crickets. Nothing. Just like that. Silence. So then I call. Right. Several weeks go by. Nothing. So I call. Like, hey, explain the situation again, looking to have a party, was interested in the side private room or the upstairs patio. Let me know. So the host was very nice, but couldn't answer my questions. She was like, well, the patio's open right now. I'm like, yes, but this is for a future date. I'm looking to have something, like even semi-private, even if it's not fully private. Want to know, if we could rent the patio, rent the party room, like what is that? So she goes to grab a manager. Manager comes to the phone. We have a bad connection, so it's kind of hard to hear. So I'm explaining myself again now for the third time. First time through email, second time to the hostess. Now I'm explaining myself to this manager. And and I'm like, "Hey, yeah, just wanted to know, how do we reserve the party room? What's going on? What are your rules and regulations? Da 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 da. Oh, well, you need to email such and such." I'm like, "Well, I already emailed, several weeks ago. Haven't heard any response." He says to me, "Oh, well, how many people is this?" At probably 10 or 12. Like, "Oh, that's probably why she didn't email you back." I'm like, "Okay." Yeah, the party room is it's very expensive. You probably don't want to do that. So I already scratched my head a little bit because I didn't get a response to the email. Not mad at the hostess for not knowing the rules. She pivoted, got me a manager. I'm cool with that. But now I'm really scratching my head because it's almost as if you're discouraging me from making this reservation. So I'm just trying to understand. I said, so, well, if you can't take care of us, if you have something else going on that day, I understand. It's just that we come there fairly frequently. It's kind of our spot. So wanted to be able to bring you guys some business, have our favorite person. It's close to our school, da 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 da. Ah, yeah, I think I know who you guys are. I think now that you said that, I know who you are. It's like the group of teachers, like, yeah, like, "Yeah, you don't wanna do that. It's just so expensive." And I'm like, "Okay, well, what is expensive?" Because at this point, I haven't told you a budget. I haven't told you how much I wanna spend. You didn't ask me either. And you're kinda just making an assumption, which, if you're gonna make an assumption, assume the sale. Don't don't assume that you can't take care of me or that I won't want you to take care of me. Again, y'all don't like money? What I'm confused. And I was like, "Okay, well, what about the upstairs patio?" "Ah, sometimes it's hot. Yeah, I don't wanna do that." Like, "It gets hot up there." I'm like, "Okay." I was like, "Listen, if you can't accommodate us or don't wanna accommodate us, just let me know." I just, you know, I we wanted to come there again. This is a spot we normally come to hang out. But if you can't take care of it, "Oh, it's not that we can't take care of you." I'm like, okay. He's like, "Yeah, we could just seat you in the dining room." They have like this elevated little space. I've seen large parties there before when I've, frequent there before. "Yeah, we'll just put you inside in the back corner, da 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 da." Da." So I just found it just again scratching my head. Like, why would you do that? Why would you discourage someone from coming to spend money? You don't have a full menu. So if we get any food, it's gonna be chicken tenders and fries, maybe a burger or wings or something. It's not like we're gonna slam the kitchen. It's not a prime time because I'm talking about early afternoon, 3 o'clock on a Thursday. So it's not like it's a Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday lunch, something of that nature. It's 3 o'clock on a Thursday. I know y'all not busy yet. I've been in there at 3 o'clock on a Thursday. Y'all don't have nothing going on. I would think that you would want the business, right? Like, and even when I put it out there, like, "Hey, if you can't take care of us, let me know." Just let me know. We're not gonna be able to accommodate you versus trying to talk me out of a decision that I've already made. I really already told the group this is what we're doing. So like weird, 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 weird. And this is management. Guys, like, I wonder what your team is saying on the phone. Do you know? Like, do you ever call and pretend to be a guest and ask questions? Do you ever run scenarios or simulations? Do you ever role play with your team? This is what you say in this situation, right? And then reflect on how it goes. That's scary to me. As a business owner, that's scary to me. What are your people on the phone saying to potential customers, to potential guests, to people who want to come spend money? Because to be quite honest, 10 is the low end. Probably 10 of us show up. Each person spend $30, 40, $50 maybe. It's three people's birthdays. Maybe we buy lunch for the birthday people. Maybe we buy them around. Like, what kind of check is that? That you're just like, eh, it's hot up there. I don't want to do that. Oh, it's so expensive. What is expensive? You're talking me out of something that I called prepared to follow through on. And then at the end of the conversation said, call me back on Monday or Tuesday to remind me. You didn't take my name, phone number, nothing. Like, I don't even feel confident that I have a reservation at the end of this conversation. Call me back on Monday or Tuesday to remind you. Now, granted, this is not a full service restaurant, but still, where's the hospitality? Where's the training here? And if you as a manager are doing this, what is your team doing? What are the hourly employees doing? Like, what are they saying? Right? Do you know what your team is saying to your guests? Are you sure? How can you be sure? Are you sending friends and family in to do a secret shop? Are you randomly calling the place to go orders or to ask questions? Frequently asked questions, right? You know how you have those frequently asked questions. Every establishment has their particular set of frequently asked questions. Maybe it's a question about a combo that you have. What comes on it? Well, can I pick the side? Maybe it's a question about, does it come with a drink? Maybe it's a question about a particular ingredient. Maybe it's you know what your common questions are. How are those being answered and addressed? I challenge you this week. Do some secret shops. Send in some friends and family to listen, to look, right? To taste the food. What's the quality that's coming out? What's being said? I challenge you to call from a different number or block your number so they don't know it's you and ask some questions and see what kind of responses you get. It could be scary, or it could be an opportunity for you to celebrate your team. Maybe they knock it out of the park. Maybe they do a magnificent job answering those questions, responding, right? And then you can use that as an opportunity to uplift them and reinforce those conversations, that word choice, that body language that you want happening on a consistent basis. All right. That's my challenge for you this week. Is your team assuming the sale? And if not, how can you pivot to teach them how they can? Some of it's common sense. Some of it you might have to dig a little deeper. Some of it you may have to role play. You may have to write some stuff down. You may have to have a script, right? Until they can get their own feel. All right. But that's my challenge for you this week, y'all. Figure out where the holes are in the boat before you sink. Have a great rest of the week. Again, this is Tasha Jackson for the Hospitality Hacks Pro Show. Talk to you next week.